it just gets lost in the feed, and people don't always think about looking in featured. Perhaps when you're just browsing around, you could have a look in featured, see if there's any special things there. So let's get cracking, shall we? Right, so the very first row we are going to do, as I said, I've got my pieces here. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of my border fabrics. So I've got them all here. This is the really easy part. So I'm going to put them right sides together. What I could have popped in the instructions is to make these borders one piece, one long piece to add together. But I thought it's so much more straightforward to know that you're just working with squares, whether it be a half square triangle. There's no quarter square triangles, but there could have been. So if you're working with squares all the time, you just know you're putting them in a particular order. So as per usual, stitch length 2 or 1.8, right sides together of the fabric, 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and stitch down that right hand side. Open it out. I finger press. I'm not going to press all of my rows until I get to the end, and then I can alternate the pressing as we go. So right sides together again and stitch down, open it out, finger press, next one, right sides together, and these should line up perfectly because they were all cut. I haven't done any joining at all. It's just a square, which I should cut properly at, and I'm doing the smaller version, the 4-inch. So here is my 5th one. So I think these are 4, aren't they? 4? No, I beg your pardon. These are 3.5-inch squares. That's right. When we're making our half square triangles, that's when we need 4-inch squares to begin with. So these are just plain, well, they're the border, but they are 3.5-inch squares. So this is my 6th one, and it really doesn't take too much to be able to do this. Okay. So there are my 6. The next one I need is a background. Let's pop those over there. So I've got, I'll perhaps put 2 out, a background followed by a pattern and a background. So I can see from the chart, I need my diagonal to go from bottom left to top right. So I'm going, because it's going to create a point. So I'm going to put my background colour under the needle. Hello, Elaine. And stitch down there. Can't remember whether I said 1/4 of an inch seam, but it is, of course, a 1/4 of an inch seam. And then the next one, right sides together with the diagonal going in the direction I said, bottom left to top right. And, oh, you've just got in from work. Oh, work does get in the way, doesn't it? So now that I've got that one, I need another one, which is background and, here we are, background and colour. And I want this to go in the diagonal, to go in the opposite direction to create me a point, an arrowhead. So we'll pop that right sides together and stitch down the seam. And what you will notice, I did say last week, these rows are actually symmetrical. So from that point there, that's the middle, and that way. So what we're going to do is exactly the same in the opposite order. So the next one to here is going to be what is here, a background. So background square there. And you'll also notice on the opposite half, which is what we are on now. So as you see, it's the diagonal goes in the opposite direction. So along this one, We come to the center here and it was going in that direction. Now the next background and color is going in the opposite direction, but we have the plane there. Guess what we're going to have now? We're going to have 6 of the border fabrics. So right sides together, and number 1, just stitch our way down, open it out, finger press. Second one, right sides together, like so, and stitch our way down, and open out and finger press. I got just the right number out for me. So line those edges there and stitch along and open out, finger press. Next one, right sides together, always right sides together, as you know. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and finger press, and 2 more, number 5, and you can see it is really following the chart. It's quite easy for it to come together. Okay, number 1 and number 2, or number 6 rather, the second of my pair there. There we go. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is our, let's look here. Right, so this is our quite straightforward one for tonight, or the first one. So we've got 6 squares of the border fabric, followed by a plain background, 2 in the center, plain background, and 6 of our border fabric. Number 1 row done. But I need to make another one of these. So these can be different, don't need to be identical to this, but you'll have your background in the same place and your border squares as well. Okay, so number 2. Number 2 starts with a border square, followed by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 background squares. So again, right sides together. If you're using a plain background, you probably won't need to know the difference between the right and the wrong side, because it will be basically the same. So we have got the border fabric right on the edge, and we have then 4 of our background colours. So with background, as I say, I am choosing to use exactly the same fabric all the time. If you were very, well, not very clever, but if you wanted to use, if you were, say, using very pale fabrics and use lots of, so say you're using white on white fabrics and you decided to use lots of different white on whites, that would work as well. But you want it to be consistently of the same depth of colour, because it is going to create a design of which at the moment you don't know what it is. So we've done that far. We have our 1 border, 1, 2, 3, 4 of our background colours. We now need a 2 colour. I've lost 2 there. Is that one? Nope. Well, I've lost 2. I need 1 of, let me just see. I thought I'd picked them all out. So I need, here we go. 1, 2. I need a 2 colour one. So this one is 2 colour, which is going here. And I then need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 4 that are background and let's just have a look. I've got some here. Background and colour. So I've got my pile of them here. So perhaps we'll use that one. So that is a background. I'm going to put that there. I need 4. So I'll have 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Oh no, perhaps we'll have that one. Yeah, let's have, instead of that one, I'm going to have, you'll see the Adidas Sitar coming in there. We'll have that one. Okay. So I'm going to need 4, but not all at the same time. I'm first of all going to need a 2 colour, but my diagonal is going in that direction. And then I am going to need 2 with a background, and so my diagonals are going that way. And let's have this one as well. The diagonals are going in the same direction. So how have we got the 2, and we have got the background underneath, and what we're going to have is the background at the top there. So I've got my colour here and my colour there, and this is my 2 colour. So I'll just set those over there for a minute, just while I place this one right sides together. Hello, Pippa. Don't worry. Just about fish and chips. Oh, we haven't got fish and chips tonight. I have got fish. I'm having fish pie and vegetables. And I can't wait for it. There we go. So there is my first one, which is the 2 colour, and my diagonal is going that way. There is my next one. As you see, the diagonal is still going in the same direction, but I've got background and colour. So again, right sides together, and we will stitch down this side. And we will open out and finger press that open. And then we will have this one. Diagonals going in the same direction, but the colour fabric is here and the background is at the top. So right sides together and down this side. I tell you what, to me, this is so therapeutic. Just following a chart, adding the designs, and it's lovely. So we've now actually come to the centre. So my next diagonals are going in the opposite direction. So again, I need one of these. So if I have it that way round, where background's at the top, I'm getting a V, an arrowhead, but pointing downwards this time. So I'm going to have that one. And then I need another one, which is background and colour. And my background is going at the bottom. So you can see I've got a line of colour here and I've got a line of colour there going in the opposite direction. But my diagonals, whoops, have I done that right? Yes, my diagonals are going this way. So let's just pop that to there, and we will pop that one on top, right sides together. And the thing with this particular quilt, if you accidentally put one the wrong way round, you can check it again on the chart and you can correct your mistake before it's all put together. So that one is going right sides together. I don't know if you recognise some of the fabric. Some of them are quite, I've had in my stash for a long time. Others are pretty new. So it's nice to have a bit of an assortment. Okay, so I've got my 2 here. After that, I need a 2 colour one here, which I have just here. And watch that the diagonal is going in the same direction. So there. And we're going to pop that one right sides together. And stitch down there. Okay, just making sure I've not missed anybody there. Nope. Yes, the fabric pansies, Virginia, is from a while ago. probably some of my early days, I did things on the TV with those as well. So I've got my 2-colour. I now need 4 backgrounds and then a border. So here are my 4 backgrounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put one on at a time. So right sides together, align that edge and stitch all the way down. For those of you who are not stitching now, but you're just watching and thinking, well, I'll just see if I like it and then I may make one after that, because I think it's quite fun having it as a mystery so you don't know, but it's also quite nice if you did see what it was like finished, as to, you may decide there's certain fabrics that you would love to use, and you can actually put the fabric colours where you want them to be. And I think I did say how I think batiks would work pretty well with this design, and especially if they're a multicoloured batik, where just cutting it up into 3.5-inch squares actually distributes lots of colour all over it without having to use many colours of many different fabrics, if you like. Okay, so we have just one more to do, because 1, 2, 3, 4 nail press there, and we just want a border one on the end. And that then is week 3, apart from me repeating both of these, but I will need to make a few more half square triangles. There we go. So here is our second row with 16 squares on. Border fabric first, 1, 2, 3, 4 background, followed by a 2-colour, and you can see these lines. I wonder what these lines are going to do. And then the whole way across, it should be, yes it is. So here you can see we have the alternative, or the opposites. We have a 2-colour here, but the angles are going in opposite directions. We've got a colour background here, and it's creating the arrowhead. And then following there, just the same as the other side, 4 background squares and a border. So, number 2 of week 3, all done. Okay, let's just see if I can see. No comments there. Right, it's not the stitching, it's choosing of the fabrics. Oh, what would I say? Oh, I'm just doing random. One thing I did say last week, for any of you who weren't making it last week or didn't see all of it, I've given you 2 sets of instructions, one for making half square triangles 2 at a time, and one for doing 8 at a time. And I did a couple of ones 8 at a time, which is great. But what it means is that I won't have a variety of different fabrics all over the quilt. So I've done a fair number 2 at a time as well. So depending on how scrappy you want it to be, you know, do your 2 at a time half square triangles, or if you've got some beautiful fabrics that you want to be numerous times across your quilt, do the 8 at a time. So it's entirely up to you which way to do it. And if it's difficulty choosing, Barbara, it will be easier when you can do 8 at a time. You can use 4 times less fabrics. So it means you've got to choose 4 times less, and just have beautiful fabrics distributed all over it. The only thing is, it may be that when we put the rows together, you have 2 of the same fabric next to each other, because you don't know which rows are going to be next to which rows and how they'll join together. So that's the only downside of that. Looks like the top part of an M. Doesn't it? You never know. You never know. I was going to say, looking at it, you know, when I say border, where a border would be, you might be able to guess the first row we did as to what part of the quilt that might be. And as you know, you are making 2. One will be in the top half and one will be in the bottom half, because they are going to be, it's symmetrical. It is totally, no, not quite. The majority of it's symmetrical, but not all of it. Juliet's using 2.5-inch squares, using up a panel board, don't know what to do with it. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And it will be the second quilt you've ever made. Fantastic. So, absolutely, if you're using 2.5-inch squares, absolutely fine. It will just come out a little bit smaller. When you're doing your half square triangles, you will need to cut the fabric. Well, you'll either be using your 2.5-inch squares to make your half square triangles, which will bring your half square triangle squares down to less than that. What will it bring them to? About 1.5, 1 3. So it means if you're using those to make the half square triangles, then your squares for the background and the borders will need to be a smaller size. If, however, you're using the 2.5-inch squares as the background squares or the border squares, then you will, when you make your half square triangles, whatever fabrics you cut will need to be a bit bigger to come down to a 2.5-inch square. Barbara finds it, Virginia finds it the same as Barbara, which is you find random addles your brain. Oh, Barbara, I think it keeps you young and it keeps your mind active. But just, perhaps you need a blindfold, or pop all your squares in a box and just dip your hand in and pull it out. Leslie's doing a Christmas one as well. Well done. Oh, I shall love seeing these. It will work. It would be quite good in Christmas fabrics, I must admit. Evening, Margot. Virginia just grits her teeth and shuts your eye. Yeah, shut your eyes and just do it. Yes. Okay. So, what should we do? Or what will I say? I will be, as I say, getting out all the orders all packed, ready to go out, hopefully all on Monday, as long as everybody gets their emails and payments through. But I'll be working on that. I shall also, now what I haven't brought to show you, for those of you that like Halloween, I don't usually buy much fabric in Halloween, but I have bought some charm packs. Well, I say charm packs, they're Macawa's 5-inch squares, and they are, I haven't even opened the pack yet, but I've got just a few. I think there are 12, I think. I will put them on the website, and they are pretty lovely. There's a lot of purple in it as well. So I should put those on the website, and I shall then be working on, what I'm going to do with those beautiful atelier sewing related fabrics, along with the Adidas Sitar as well. Beverly's looking forward to seeing the end result. Yes, so am I. And next week in the Sew with Trisha group, it will be Small Project Tuesday, won't it? Yes, I must think of another small project. I keep doing a lot of those. And then we will have, obviously on the Friday. Thursday, I don't know what we'll do yet. But all I would say, I know I was selling denim yesterday, but if you have an old pair of jeans, get that old pair of jeans out that you're never going to wear again. Give them a wash and dry, because I will have a little project coming up in a couple of weeks' time, which I think you will like, a recycling project. So the old pair of jeans, just when you're going through your wardrobe, you might be putting your summer gear away and getting the winter gear out. You're bound to find an old pair of jeans. If you don't wear jeans, preferably non-stretch, have a look around some charity shops, see what you can find. But I've already started working, and our lovely Vanessa has seen what I've been doing, but there's some other things to go with it. So just a little teaser for what's coming up. And I think you'll enjoy, because basically it's going to cost you nothing if you've got that old pair of jeans. Okay, I will enjoy my fish pie. I can't wait. Quilted jacket. Yeah, do you know, I keep thinking about that, Caroline. I will. I will get to grips with, because I have got a little bit of Cafe fabric to do. I've saved it for me. It's in my own stash, and I keep thinking, yes, so if you love a bit of repurposing, do they have to fit? Do they have to fit? What are we talking about, Jen? Do the squares have to fit? Yeah, because the squares and the half square triangles need to fit next to each other. So we've got plain ones, and we have got, so we've got just plain squares, and we've got half square triangle squares. So yes, they do need to fit. That's why when you're watching me, they fit. Have a look at the very first week for making the half square triangles, and you'll see there what you'll need to do. Okay. Okay. How many do we need? How many jeans do we need? Jeans. Yes, jeans. One pair. See what we can do with one pair of jeans. The bigger, the better, is what they say, and is what I would totally agree with. So I'm going to leave you now. So enjoy your Friday evening. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And I will see you next week. I could dip up now and again with an impromptu live if I feel I've got to show you something, because quite often I have. And so you might see me now and again. So take care of yourselves and enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.